Hello? Anybody there? Hello? Good morning, good morning. The wild Slickrock appears. Way too late for me. What am I doing here? Slickrock, my man, welcome in. Good morning to you. Well, I say good morning. It is technically going to be your morning, isn't it? Just a very early morning. Oh, back from church already. Yes, I've been blessed. One has been blessed. One has repented for his sins. Streaming on Saturday and a Sunday. That's my sin this week. Coffee in hand. Thank you very much for the sub over on YouTube. Appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. Whether you be watching live or watching one of the videos. Right. What the hell are we doing today? What the hell are we doing today? I have no idea. No idea. I would like to point out that I am also, I said this a little bit yesterday, but I'm very thankful for everybody that's maybe made the effort to go watch the YouTube videos over the last couple of days. I took a huge amount of time out for doing YouTube in general. Luckily, getting back into it was like riding a bike. That I kind of just, YouTube voice, switch it on, let's go. But yeah, very happy to see that. I will continue to build on that. I've got a couple of topics of discussion that I want to talk about regarding Midnight. Things that have sort of cropped up, things that I think are specific for their own video. 99,000 people have asked about concentration. Is it dead? Is it nerfed? Is it buffed? Is it not? So I think we're going to have to address that in a bit of detail. A video around concentration is going to be very useful. And to be fair, I have given very, very, very little love to player housing at this point, whilst technically that's the thing that's going to turn up soonest, and the thing that might be most valuable to people in the short term. Obviously, Midnight isn't going to turn up until February or whatever, maybe even early March. So taking a day to look at player housing. We might do that tomorrow. I say that lightly. We might take a look at player housing in a bit more depth tomorrow. The only reason is it's going to require me to do a huge amount of trawling around the globe in game to go and level the professions. Not level the professions, but get access to the professions in each expansion on a bunch of different characters, because of course you can only do 2 professions per character. So then we can start having a little bit of a dive through who does what and where. There's some good resources out there already, by the way. I updated the Discord yesterday. For anybody who ends up watching the VOD and not able to catch this live, the Discord is being populated with a lot more Midnight stuff as and when I get to it. We got Housing and Decor channel now. I've highlighted Sol's video because he did a really good job. Even before the alpha went public, he used his early access time to put a little video together on housing and the materials and the likes. Exposing to the world that things like lumber is warbound and whatever. That was a really good little video, so I've highlighted that. Plus there's some resources from some community members already. Woo has put together some early TSM groups for materials known to be used in housing. Mikey's put a little bit of a spreadsheet together with some of those materials, so sort of a similar info, but just from a different direction. And there's this housing.wow.db. WowDB have done a spin-off little site for crafting stuff, which is kind of looking cool. Kind of looking quite cool, this one. It's searchable, filterable. It's nice that it gives, an indication to what stuff actually looks like. This is all the stuff that crafters are going to be able to make. And I hope that they will, they've got some expansion filters here. So like you can say, right, what is available via Dragonflight? There's a bunch of stuff you can get via Dragonflight. I wonder if you can you break it down by profession even? Not by... Oh, filter by profession is a thing. Look, here we go. Oh, so okay, they've been scribbling away really well. If you want to see like leatherworking dragonflight recipes, we can just untick. If we just untick dragonflight, we've got leatherworking. 19 crafted options for leatherworking. You can see what leatherworkers are going to make. You can obviously do this for whichever expansion you want. Kind of cool. Being a, how do we, I mean, Loch Modan bearskin rug. You can view the 3D model. Sources crafting. Oh, okay, this is good. They got little tool tips. 15 ironwood lumber, 12 rugged leather, 2 cured rugged hides, and 2 rune threads. And you need classic leatherworking 240 skill to pick up the recipe. Can you, out of curiosity, can I select everything that uses ironwood lumber? I know that links to their actual database of ironwood lumber. Reagent 4. So we can kind of say ironwood lumber is now used in all of these things. So classic lumber, to give it an easier understanding name. Classic lumber goes into a bunch of stuff you can see here. Between 15 to 40 per craft. There's a 45, there's a 50. Most all of these look like you can pick them up at 240 skill. Source is not listed for a lot of these yet. Or is it? Classic jewel crafting. Profession trainer, profession trainer, profession trainer. They all just very simply come from profession trainers. For me, then, it feels like the entire... Because it's the source of the recipes that's interesting for me. If there ends up being something that's difficult, like a recipe that's difficult to get, hope we get some rare patterns later on. Yeah, some rare patterns will mean that the items will hold value earlier. The reality is that there is gonna be such a rush. Look, 8 Arcanite bars, 20 Dark Iron bars, and 4 Enchanted Leather going into making 1 Steel Iron Forged emblem. Yes, hi Alma Lama. 12 Apothecary Work Table, 16 Essence of Undead, 12 Arcanite bars, 8 Black Lotus, and 6 Crystal Vials to make an Apothecary Work Table. What we need is a website that has tracking of prices of these. I mean, I could throw all of this in theory into a spreadsheet, right? Pull the market price for these materials, or use TSM to pull the value of these materials into a spreadsheet. Take every recipe, you know, math it out, give an estimated cost per craft based on today's prices, sort of thing. That's within reach. Although, that said, the thing that there is one add-on out there that is going to be very, very, very useful from day one. Good old Trade School Master. Good old Trade School Master. Good old Trade School Master is going to be god tier at this, because we're not going to have flipping multi-craft and resourcefulness procs on all of this sort of stuff. We're talking old school crafting once again, which means TSM prices are going to be able to figure out. You could have a TSM decor. Maybe this is something I'm going to have to do, isn't it? TSM decor crafting group, where you have every single decor item from every single expansion, with some simple craft if profitable. You'll have to assign yourself a value for the lumber, some custom prices for the lumber. Do we know if other people can decorate your house with permissions, etc.? It's a really good question. I've not even unlocked my player housing. I know the alpha's been out a few days, but I've just not got round to even unlocking my housing or tinkering with it. Mostly because I know the very second I do, I will waste an entire day just playing. Which is kind of the point of the alpha right now, to play and figure out how stuff is, but I kind of don't want to play with it all that much, if that makes sense right now. I don't want to play with it all that much because I want to play with it when I've actually got time to sit down and play with it properly, you know? Housing isn't going anywhere. It's still not going to go live for 8 weeks or so anyway. But it would be cool if people can come in, and there are permissions. You can let other people into your houses. I'm not sure if they're able to decorate them, though. It's also not something that Blizzard plan to do for launch, but they have said they do want some sort of like import-export for rooms or entire houses or something. Anyway, should we hop in? This was me trying to shamelessly promo the Discord here, wasn't it? But yeah, there's some simple info on housing. I'm doing it, structuring it in sort of mini Q&A style. So questions like this: do we know if people can decorate your house? The answer at the moment is I actually don't know, but would probably say for launch, probably not. But should we actually see if alpha even works this morning? I should have probably tested that before I start the stream, shouldn't I? But whoa, flashbang. Sorry. Oh, what? My flipping main realm's offline? Oh, you son of a gun. The realm where I have all of my toons and where I've started doing everything. Alright, well, we might have to do something else then. Maybe today is the day we unlock our housing and have a little look about then if the main flipping realm that I want to use is offline. Okay. Why is that a thing then? That's really annoyed me. Is this just a UI thing? Can I, because of warbands, still just say, I want to play this character, please let me on? No, because it says they are actually offline. Alright. Well, I did make characters on these two other realms. Ranthius is on a different realm. He can log on. Maybe we do skinning then? Skinning on Ranthius. When you get a chance, can you put in a bug report in for blacksmithing? It's the only profession without an increased ingenuity refund talent. Sure. Maybe we do... We could do cooking, fishing, and skinning all on one dude. Cooking, fishing, and skinning we could do on this dude today then if we don't have access to our main characters. That's not saying I couldn't just spin up a new character anyway, but I'm trying to be organised with this. Trying my damnedest to be organised. Without the cheap vendors, it's a touch difficult as well. Okay, let's spin this character up quickly. Auto loot on. Action bars, a bunch of you. Camera. Where's the camera thing? Where's the don't fucking move my camera thing? Camera style, never adjust. Good. Get the UI in order. Get out of this stupid, flipping, ridiculous, silly spec that they seem to force upon us, being survival. Not having any of that business. Give me back my Beastmaster. Thank you very much. I wonder if my slot works on the alpha yet. It would be very convenient if it did. You out the way. You go there. Turtle goes there. That goes there. You go, I think, that one. Shift E, F, Shift 3. Survival of the fittest goes down here. Disengage, counter shot. Right, I think that's half the buttons. What am I missing? We're missing mend pet. We're missing wild thrash on 2. Don't like this, you know. I found a few times playing yesterday that I want multi-shot back. Like, I want multi-shot back. Wild thrash is meant to sort of thematically replace multi-shot. Wild thrash is on a flipping 8-second cooldown. And if your pets aren't within range of who you're trying to round up, it misses and it's, oh god, then you put it on cooldown and, oh, I don't like it. Don't like it. I want multi-shot back. So often do I use multi-shot for the purpose of like rounding up stray mobs. Whereas I now don't have the ability to do that. I have to send my pet in to attack a target and then once it's in range use wild thrash because of its rate. I don't like it. I don't like it. Just make a week. Oh, never mind. Yeah, just make a week or two. Oh, yeah. Okay. I feel so naked with, like, no buttons. These are actually all the buttons we have. What else we need? A bit of recuperate is usually handy in this baby gear that we get given to start with. Skyriding stuff means we actually also need a mount, don't we? This is why I don't like spinning up new characters every 5 minutes, because still have to do a few things. We pick a mount on this dude. Who should we use this time? Ashes. Flip. I don't want to have to do the intro quests again. How do I avoid having to do the intro quests again? I'm gonna have to end up doing the intro quest a billion times on all of these characters to gotta be a way to avoid doing the intro quests.
Looking for something special? Go in peace. What's up?
Fishing promoter? Oh yeah, because it's Sunday, isn't it? I'm always curious by what people put on the auction house on the alpha. It's nothing more than curiosity. Nothing. Good. Yeah, can I just sack this off and go straight to the city? Oh, yeah, it doesn't add my... Now that they've changed... My bars don't change for when I'm in dragon riding mode. It doesn't put dragon riding abilities on my bar for some reason. Another annoyance to set up. Surge forward is that one. Ascend upwards is that one. Where's the 3 charge whirling surge is that one. And then the regenerate a thing is Q. That's all the abilities I use. Yeah, can I just go straight there? Silvermoon City. Yeah, maybe we can just take the portal. Did they happen to add an enchant Algari for multicraft? I've heard a rumor that they have. I have not confirmed it though. I have not confirmed it. I should probably look into it. But when we get to enchanting, we won't look into it. I've not made it to enchanting yet. Right, okay, we are here. I need cooking, I need fishing, and I need skinning.
What business have you?
Where are they? Cooking.
Death to all who oppose us.
The market on my map thing doesn't work because our map doesn't work. I'm gonna have to find it. Skinning's over this way. It was over this way. What the hell have they done with skinning trainer? No, they're doing the skinning trainer. Skinning's usually lurking by leatherworking. Oh. Herbalist inscription, alchemy, tailoring, jewel crafting, enchanting. Oh. Where is skinning? Mining, blacksmithing, leatherworking, skinning. Out here, here we go. Here we go.
The eternal
Right, skinning,
sun
yoink.
guides us. Be ready for
Thank you. Cooking and fishing. Where would you be? If you were cooking and fishing, where would you be? Master
Glory to
painter.
the Sindori.
The hell? Oh, okay. Requires completion of the 12.0 patch meta achievement, Silver Moon in Summer. Ah, I can't look at them. Patch meta achievement. Is that okay? I mean, that's a placeholder statement. It might not be true. But you can buy additional copies of paintings.
Baladash Malinore.
Requires a deed of patronage.
Remember the sun well.
What's a deed of patronage? Oh, is that what you get when you actually bother to unlock your player housing? Probably. Okay. Okay, squirrels, distractions. Still haven't found fishing or cooking. an inn or something somewhere. Innkeeper, Lord Walker Cho, Ogrimmar Portal. Bran, West. I found a dude who claimed to be a cooking trainer down here somewhere. But then he didn't work. So are we to maybe assume that cooking just doesn't work right now, maybe? I can't find... Oh, bandage trainer. Of all the things to stumble across.
Anaria Shola.
Okay, found the bandage trainer.
Keep your wits
Not what I was actually looking for, but okay. Old school hunter trainers. Proving grounds.
Farewell.
What do you seek?
Your gold is
All the old school vendors are here. That's quite funny. Revisited, revitalized. Pet trainers. Perhaps near the body of water to the north for fishing. That's a good shout. On the dock areas or something. What about the coastline round here? Oh, hello. What was that on my map? Springclaw Elder. He's got a trap icon on him. Hang on, maybe we need to... High value beast, a particularly fine beast. Skinning it will net you increased rewards. Is this a thing normally we're skinning, or is this new? Thalassian hide, leather, plating, scales, and fine Thalassian hide. There are some hides that won't stand up to the needs of equipment crafting. Whilst they may be fantastic specimens, they lack the structural integrity or have some other flaws that make them unfortunately lackluster for more practical uses. They are, however, fantastic for studying and gaining anatomical knowledge. You may discover 6 fine hides this week. That's our weekly knowledge point. Thalassian hide. Sometimes the skinner can recover a particularly superb sample of leather from a skinnable creature. These hides are used in more potent crafts or in places where standard leather just won't do the job. Leather. From lynxes and hawk striders to Armani bears. Tough, pliable resources utilized in the creation of various pieces of equipment. Plating. Skinners can rarely acquire superb sheets of scales, referred to as plating, from scaled creatures. These are powerful, potent reagents that are used in more complex recipes where run-of-the-mill scales just won't do. And then there is Thalassian scales. Where there isn't leather, there's scales. Between fish, snakes, dragon, hawks, and monstrous void creatures, there's plenty of material to make toughened scale armor. Diffusers. Light bloom diffuser. Throw a diffusing device at the targeted skinnable creature to infuse it with light bloom energy, causing you to receive additional motes of light when skinning them. Oh, haha. Okay, sure. Now, the fact that it takes motes of light to craft this. Primal diffuser. So this is Skinning's way of getting the motes. Get ready to farm motes like your life depends on it, by the way. Okay, and then majestic beast lures. Majestic Eversong lure. Place the bait, luring a majestic beast in a specific region of Eversong Woods. So hunting down and finding what all of those, where all those come from. Wormfish, lynxfish, null voidfish, fungal skin, pike, tender lumifish, ominous octopus. Didn't need the fishing trainer here, look. Gore guppy. Reach 25 skill to begin specializing. Alright, well. This is kind of cool though. High value beast. Let's start me notes. Skinning then. Was not the plan of action for today. Skinning. Right. No, don't capture the whole flipping thing. There we go. High value beast. Alright, get pew-pewed. Oh, I should also probably show the little icon on the minimap. That would probably be smart, wouldn't it? Be organised about this. Tell you what, one advantage of playing game in 4K these days is that all my screenshots end up being really nice high resolution. Nice advantage to have. My main monitor's 4K, but all of the other ones are of course just regular 1080p screens. Right, okay, let's kill you. And see what you give us. Heard lure and thought you were finally testing fishing. Well, I did try, but I couldn't find the flipping. Oh my god, I haven't even got a ranged weapon equipped. Hang on. I did try, but I couldn't find the fishing trainer. So we're doing skinning instead. I wonder if mobs drop motes for the students out there. But time will tell. Maybe. Both herbalism and mining get moats. It looks like they've incorporated a way for skinning to do the same, maybe. Right, so you're now apparently going to give extra goodies. You gave me 8 leather. 8 leather from a single mob. Let's do the skinning basics with some bullet points. High value beasts. Displayed on the mini-map with a trap icon. And have increased reward. Right, so 8 pieces of leather. Need a section for the materials. See if we can find any more of these high value beasts then. That wasn't really what we were looking for, but I spotted an icon on a map and got intrigued. Oh, hello game, don't crash on me please. We see if there's any. Is there in-game music yet? Music disabled. Maybe not. If there's no music in game, we'll have some tunes on in the background. Have you had a chance to have a look at leatherworking? I had a little bit of a rough overview of leatherworking, but the professions are frustrating in a sense of that I have to level them up a little bit to even see the spec trees. So I've not done a video for leatherworking yet, and I've not really got many notes for leatherworking. I'm going to go back to it. Also means that doing a little bit of skinning now will get me some leather that I might need to help level it up at the beginning. Let's fly around a little bit, see if we can find any more high value beasties. Hunter tracking animals is also not a bad idea, yeah. Track beasties. Oh, find high value beasts. Oh, I've actually got a button for this. Spectre's one Wowhead, if that helps. Sort of, but I don't really want to be looking through Wowhead for stuff like this. I would rather see it first hand in game. I need screenshots and stuff for this sort of stuff anyway, so it's something that has to be done. Even if without cheat vendors, it's a bit more difficult to do in game, but well, that's interesting. Apparently, I can't skin any of these. Ah, alright, sure. Okay, so this is just a toggle on and off. Nearby high-value beasts will appear on the minimap and be visibly highlighted. These high-value beasts can be tracked with a toggleable. Is toggleable toggleable button. Does it become a spell or something? Find high value beasts. Okay, surely you lot have got to be skinnable. Surely. Need to find one of those areas that has both adult and baby beasts that Blizzard puts in every expansion. Yeah. I'm actually going to turn off tracking of beasts, you know. It's just too much spam. Ah, now you see it was also hiding the Springpaw Lynx.
I need to target something first.
Yeah, these aren't flipping skinnable. So you're going to give me an increased amount. Let's do a comparison between an increased reward and a Springpaw Lynx that should be normal. Seven from you. How does a regular non-empowered one compare? While it definitely won't be as competitive as like doing a 2x4 skinning group, this high target beast thing might make it feel a lot, you know, a little bit more. Because one of the things I've always found about skinning is you kind of feel as if you're not killing everything in the zone, you're, how would I say, leaving gold on the table. This way, as you're flying around, you're doing quests or whatever, you could just cherry pick. So we only got one single leather from a regular mob there. So if you're skinning solo and you're flying around and you're doing your questing, you might just choose to only chip off the high value targets here like this, look. Because killing this one dude is the equivalent of killing 8 regular mobs. Now, I need to be aware that I'm probably the only person playing on the server, or close to. Meaning I will probably have the pick of the draw. I won't have any competition, but... kind of making skinning a little bit more like herbalism and mining, where you track not a node, but a beast that has more skin, apparently. I hate the mindless grinding of mobs. Well, it could be their way to give solo skinners opportunity to do their thing, right? Skinning has become one of those that if you are not in a 2x4 hyper spawn kind of group, you feel as if, well, what's the flipping point? If this levels the playing field a little bit, if you can just only kill the high value targets. The question is if the high value is this high value target high value to me as well as somebody else at the same time? If there was a second skinner here, is this one mob high value to them also, or is this high value target system like character specific, personal? if somebody else came along and skinned this mob, would they get one or would they get the increased amount? It'd be a little hard to test without some assistance on the alpha. Hang on, let me choose my hero talents before, so it stops shouting at me. Of course, only targeting high value beasts, you're not going to level up very fast, but you only level up the profession once. It's less than an hour's worth of work most of the time. I still haven't been able to figure out how to use these rune stones, by the way. It just says latent arcana can be used to charge it. I have no idea what latent arcana is, but I've not finished questing in the zone, and this could be a max level thing. Not been able to figure that out yet. Ooh, what trainer are you? Cooking trainer. That was an interesting stumble. Hey! Recipes all the way to 85 and beyond. Okay, we've got cooking on this dude as well then. Now I just need to find the fishing trainer. Where the fuck am I? For future reference, where am I? In this area of the world. Not what I ordered. I wonder if these side quests are related. Alchemical oddity vendor. Foraged goods vendor.
Everything has a price. Salama Ashalanore.
There's nearly always a... There should nearly always be a fishing vendor in close proximity. Probably not, though.
Price. We will have justice.
Okay. I like to test fishing and cooking sort of wombo combo, because the fish you fish can usually be cooked to, you know, it's another set of professions that you should probably do as a pair. I did herbalism and mining as a pair because that sort of makes sense.
Our enemies will fall. We will have justice.
You know what I can do? Fishing trainer. Let me see if I can wow head the fishing trainer. can't find one that stands out as being a fishing vendor. Okay. We'll have to stumble across the fishing vendor accidentally then. Well, let's take a quick little look at cooking. Starters, we got plant proteins and ripened vegetable assortments. Sold by vendors. Both multi-craft and resourcefulness off the bat. Practically pork. So we've gone from basically beef to practically pork. Well, that was a natural evolution, wasn't it? That was a natural evolution. Plant protein. We saw this the other day. I love the fact that it's got the vegetarian tag on it. A portable snack. Plant proteins, pouch of spices, some random ass herbs. A quick sound. What does all of this do, actually? Are these just your basic super duper mega entry level? Yeah. Mini well-fed buffs. They all state that they require level 90. Probably should not require level 90. Okay. Starter. There were 2 more starters, which we can learn from the trainer. Bloom skewers. Bar Strider rations. Both learned from the trainer. What's your profession early look video about Artisan's Moxie? Do you think there'll be a problem for recrafting when you need exact Moxie? For example, someone wants to recraft a sword, but they don't have the Moxie because it's not in the profession. This brings me to another point that I haven't confirmed. I think they're getting rid of recrafting. I can't confirm this, but it doesn't look like they're carrying forward the recrafting system, which makes me question what the hell they are doing instead. Because I noticed neither engineering or alchemy have it. Now, they're both professions that in theory are designed to make endgame gear. So yeah. You end up spending so much of your time looking for new stuff, you kind of forget to look for the old stuff. And I have a subtle suspicion that they might be getting rid of the recrafting system. I haven't seen any crafted weapons yet either. Well, looking at something like blacksmithing or tailoring, one of the big crafting professions in more detail, should spread some light on that. My leatherworker is currently locked off. I suppose we could take leatherworking again on this dude as its second profession alongside skinning. We're getting squirrelified here, aren't we? We're getting distracted by squirrels, but this is the name of the game. Yeah, so the TLDR is I actually have no idea what they're going to do about that. The likelihood is if they do keep the recrafting system in, they'll just remove the requirement for Moxie. I've said for a while that the recrafting system was overpriced and too difficult for it to be of any value for people. Hence why people were so heavily concerned about getting it right the first time, because recrafting was gross. And more than that, recrafting has caused a whole bunch of issues that are not easy to explain to players, such as, like, you know, the hidden watermarking of quality of materials used to craft items with was just kind of... It was a system that you kind of understand why the system existed, so that somebody didn't use quality 1 materials to make it and then just recraft it at a higher quality later, but it was all a bit icky. Recrafting is the same as making a new item, it's just all about the cost. Well, it depends what they plan to do with sparks. Are they going to allow you to destroy one item, extract the spark from it, and then just create a new one instead? Is that the direction they might go in? Rather than recrafting an old one with all of the complications and unnecessary aspects that comes with recrafting? I don't know. Like I said, I'm spitballing ideas at the moment, and I can't actually confirm this, but this is just a gut feeling, should we say, that I've had so far. That things feel off when it comes to, like, recrafting. And they might have to have had to completely rework the recrafting system anyway because of the quality changes to materials. And they might have thought that, well, rebuilding this entire recrafting system was just not worth it. Oh, there's me trying to go and do herbing and mining. I've spent too much time gathering yesterday. Yeah, they might just very simply have decided that this is too much like hard work to rebuild the system to work with the new quality. New restriction of only being 2 qualities, that they might have just sacked it off and be coming up with a simpler and easier solution. We hope. Now this is a kind of area of water where you maybe possibly start to expect to find a fishing vendor. Fishing trainer even. Keeping sparks but not recrafting is a bold move because it's not only the spark that's carried forward, sockets, enchants, embellishments and such. It could be that they are going to have to just fully rebuild the recraft system, and maybe that's why it doesn't showcase itself in the alpha right now, because they just haven't done that yet. Let's not forget that nothing we see on the alpha right now is final. I'm going to go pick up leatherworking as well on this dude, as it just pairs nicely with skinning. Leatherworking was around here somewhere. In here? No. Over the other side? Over the other side. Oh yeah, leatherworking and skinning's here.
The eternal sun guides us. We will have justice.
Because look, there's no recrafting on the list. There's no recrafting in the UI. Leatherworking either. Now they did say it was on the graphic that they gave us for what's happening when with the alpha. It did say professions and then sparks on phase 5, I think. Where's that graphic? Probably be better finding it. It'd be easier finding it. No, this one here, look. They have professions sparks in phase 5 of the alpha. This might be an indication that recrafting and then all of the spark testing, spark gear crafting and recrafting and stuff might be penciled in to be implemented later. Check old expansion, see if there is recrafting for that. Well, they probably wouldn't touch any of that anyway. None of that would need to be touched. I mean, I could, yes, go and learn Dragonflight in Kazongar to double check, but I need Thalassian leather and I need Thalassian scales to start crafting some early level things. We need to figure out where we get some of these then. Okay, let's get back out, figure shit out. But yeah, it's either that they're having to, either they've removed recrafting and they're going to do something different with it, or they're going to have to rebuild it to use just 2 qualities. I would hope that if they're going to have to rebuild it anyway, they take the extra 5 minutes to design a slightly better system.
I need to target something first.
Do you think it's going to be asked the war within? You need to choose the route to go. Mats or for products, not being able to do the do at the same time. Yeah, I mean that's the basics of the spec trees. That in the early season, at the beginning of the expansion, when you're limited on knowledge points, yes, you will have to choose a direction to go. You'll have to choose to spec into something. You won't be able to do everything from day one. Where's the high value target here? Have we found out how the skill knowledge works yet? More knowledge points. For the most part, the system seems to be copy-paste in terms of the gathering. At least you have X amount of weekly knowledge points you can gather, and then there's probably going to be a catch-up system attached to the top of it. I've got no reason to believe they've changed anything there. I haven't looked into... There are treasures, by the way. There are one-time treasures again, that much I do know. I found a couple of those for a couple of professions. What our weekly routine is for gaining knowledge points, though, until proven otherwise, I'm going to assume it's the same. Mostly doing patron orders, maybe a weekly quest here or there. It's usually a relatively safe assumption they've just copy-pasted something unless you spot something that's clearly different for a reason. And in terms of quantity of knowledge points in the spec trees and stuff, first glance it looks to be about the same. Of the professions where I've been able to look at the spec trees in detail, they look about the same. I hope there's some mobs in this zone that drop scale. Otherwise, I'm going to be scuppered from testing leatherworking at all. But I must say, I like the idea of this high-value target system for skinning already. It brings the...
I need to target something first.
Ooh, fine Thalassian hide. There's one of our weekly knowledge points. That's interesting. They weren't working for herbalism or mining. Interesting that they're working for skinning. I've kind of hit the end of the map. I'm not bothering to kill half the rares right now. I'm super undergeared, and a couple of them that I've killed have no loot tables, so I'm not bothered about killing rares yet. Just before people get excited about, oh, there's a rare. This is the guy that was tagged as a cooking trainer and supplies,
I have one of a kind
then
items.
doesn't actually act as a cooking trainer.
Shirella
I've bug reported that one anyway. You standing up here. Arcane Guru?
Anoria Shola.
My secret to unlocking greater arcane abilities, onion and banana juice.
Shorel
Each to their own. He's got a big pot of bananas cooking, look. And he's growing onions. Sure. Kind of afraid skinning would be dead without thaumaturgy. You don't need that much skin for crafts. It is true that skinning has propped up the entire economy in the War Within via the use of thaumaturgy. I do wonder if... What's this? Ah, I couldn't pick this up yesterday either. A lot of the treasures are also broken. Things like turtles and whatever would be cast to scaly animals, right, surely? That. See these kind of things knocking about all the time, and I don't know what these are. These random graphical things. Seem weird. There's clearly something about those, and I don't know what they are yet. Look, there's more of them here. None of this is skinnable. That's another topic for a video, I think, that probably deserves its own video. Is what is the general consensus on the removal of thaumaturgy? It's one of those really difficult ones, because I know without a shadow of a doubt the amount of people that looked at thaumaturgy, started to spec their alchemist into it at the beginning of the expansion, had absolutely no flipping idea what they were doing with it, and then just wrote it off as terrible, overly complex, don't like this, move on, and then have complained about it the entire like, oh, I put all these knowledge points into thaumaturgy and it was useless. Yeah, but did you learn how it worked? Then again, there's going to be the player that has utilized thaumaturgy consistently throughout the expansion and also understands what it actually does for the game, the game's economy, in terms of normalizing and balancing out material values. We have seen nothing like it in the game before, in a good way. Its function was great. How you go about figuring out and profiting from it was a little convoluted. But it was in that level of complexity that allowed it to actually be profitable for the people who did figure it out. It was meant to be, you know, the advanced system. It wasn't meant to be the easy mode system. I need to find, like, turtles or something. Something that looks like it would be scaly. All these crabs don't look skinnable. Usually they have in the tooltip states if they're skinnable. Or you. Orc striders. Just kill a but. Oh, there's me trying to use multi-shot again. I don't have it anymore. It was good, but you couldn't expect anybody to make a spreadsheet. This is the problem, though, isn't it? If you make a system with depth, like they did with thaumaturgy, enough depth that you might have to, that you can't just look at it and know what the answer is, there are going to be people that will take it amongst them upon themselves to figure this shit out. And if they use a spreadsheet to figure it out, then they're going to have a better understanding of the system than somebody that just looks at it and tries to figure it out. So what's the solution there? Do you just not make systems with any depth to them? So that General Joe blogs can just look at it and stand a chance? Do you go the route of making everything bland? Bland and shallow, just so it's easy to understand and people can get to use it? But you also then have to understand that bland and shallow will still mean not profitable, because the blander and the shallower the system, you know, the easier it will be to be min-maxed by everybody. I'm of the opinion that you might as well still have these deep, complex systems in the game, so at least somebody can, you know, draw some value from them. Okay, maybe I just need to quickly zug kill a few things to get skinning to 25. I'm kind of half looking for scaly things more than anything else, but I also could do with just getting it leveled up a bit so I can see some spectries. Because if they've added this high value target thing, I wonder if they've also played around with the spectries a little bit more. Cool. You. Not wrong, but there should have been an advanced tag next to the tree so it didn't trap people. They've done it with class creation before. No reason they couldn't have done it. True. I mean, I probably wouldn't be quite so defensive of Thaumaturgy if it didn't do a really, really, really good job of keeping value in a whole bunch of materials the entire expansion. A problem that we've had with World of Warcraft literally since its infancy. That the very second something is over-farmed. This is kind of partly, when you think about it, it's kind of partly why vendor shuffles exist. It's me using multi-shot again without having it. It's kind of why vendor shuffles existed, really. Vendor shuffles, they weren't particularly implemented for this reason. It was just a byproduct of, you know, when materials get too oversupplied and too abundant, what's an exit strategy for that what's the overflow valve for these materials? And in the past, the overflow valve was like just craft a bunch of shit with and vendor it once the price gets too low. It wasn't really the greatest of overflow valve because it just pushed the market price to what we refer to as a floor price. And it was up to Blizzard to control the floor price, and the floor price was usually about 2 gold per material farmed. But for good reason, Blizzard decided that that was not really the greatest of systems, because that only that opens the door for bots to continuously farm a material and know that they have a baseline value for it all day long, and it promotes people just AFK crafting and then vendoring everything, producing a huge amount of inflation in the process. So, quite rightly, I think, Blizzard nerfed all vendor shuffles. And then they came up with this clever system called Thaumaturgy, to where if there was ever an overabundance of a certain material, that it could be spun through an alchemist in a destructive manner. Let's not forget. So every time an alchemist pressed the Thaumaturgy button, it deletes 50% of the materials in the first place. And it spits out other materials that might be less farmed or more worthwhile. And it was a sort of a natural balancing act against any one thing being massively over-farmed. Admittedly, there were some negative repercussions. It did kind of mean that the path of least resistance to farming was 2x4 skinning farms again. And arguably, skinning farms were the main supply of a huge percentage of all materials in the game. So maybe Blizzard is more willing to let a market actually just die rather than try and balance things. I don't know. Or maybe they just haven't thought about it like I have. It's another very plausible possibility. That maybe I think about this stuff way more. But I really could do with finding some scale from somebody. On the other side, it tanks down the prices of good mats. But materials such as... Oh, What did I kill then? Maybe it was that birdie thing. Maybe we got to kill more birdies to get more scale. Okay. There's our source of scale then. But I kind of think that it's having materials tank to like silver in price is not good. But I also don't think having a flipping single herb be worth 150 gold is that good either.
I need to get close.
It completely sways a lot of the crafting then further down the line and is very difficult to balance material recipes around. Because you can't even begin to imagine how expensive things like lure drop could have been if it wasn't for thaumaturgy. Lure drop was one of like, because sure, thaumaturgy wasn't creating quality 3 lure drop, but it was at least controlling the price of quality 2 lure drop, which meant that lure drop quality 3 was never going to be more than 5 times the value because of the refining process. So if you have all quality 2 materials sort of stabilized in price and relative to each other, then you had the refining systems, meaning it would also then have a, you know, an elastic band held onto the price of the quality 3 materials as well. It was a good control. It was just all around a good control mechanism. With Midnight, the thaumaturgy material floor price is based upon engineers recycling, but 1 crafting layer up with intermediates. But the question becomes is then what... yes, engineers are going to recycle everybody else's old rubbish, but not from a material standpoint, but from a crafted item standpoint. But what are the engineers going to do with it? What are engineers actually going to do with this stuff? Does it then take crafted items and break it back down to its core original components? It doesn't. It just produces its own... Well, at least I haven't tested it, but in engineering appears to only create its own parts for its own profession. Which means there's a theoretical limit to how much engineers are going to need to do that. Engineers aren't going to be picking up the slack for literally every profession. Unless recycling within engineering does actually spit back out core components from the crafted item in itself in material form, then it almost is thaumaturgy in disguise at that point. Maybe. Possibly. Right, I found mobs that give me... Oh, hang on. All of these dagger spines. These have got to be skinnable, right? Oh, no, because these are tagged as humanoids. One thing that's scaly that might give me scale on the regular is a humanoid and not a... Can I still skin you? Damn, no. You think they'll use tinderbox items for crafting? There are delve-style mats again. Whether they're heavily used in crafting or not, I have not looked. My first looks into professions don't really tend to focus much on the materials particularly. Simply because I know that most recipes are not properly implemented yet. They're certainly not balanced, even if they have got the right materials on them. And there's no real way to know if a recipe is quote unquote finished or not. So I tend to take a slightly more broad look at a profession as first look sort of stuff. We'll nestle down deep into the mechanics a little bit later. But, for example, if we look at some of the moats are farmed. See if I can find an example of a delve mat in action. Petrified root, for example, is what I would consider a delve mat. I have found some of this in delves. Top-end crafting often doesn't have reagents or proper recipes finished yet. I don't know really what's going on there. This tormented tantalum thing is, I believe, a blacksmithing thing. Or is that going to be like Tinderbox 2.0? I don't know. Yeah, I can't really find anything other than those roots right now that would stand out as like a delve mat. Yeah, I need a bit of a deeper dive. I don't know where this fused vitality comes from. Coalesced mote of pure primal energy can be bought and sold on the auction house. I don't know what a fused vitality is. That feels like that should be a transmute thing. Take all of the motes and smush it together kind of thing. Majestic materials are going to require Skinner workers to spec into majestic creatures, I guess. We can have a look at the skinning spec tree now, actually. What we got? Brew tanning. Improve at general skinning techniques, learning how to gather, prepare, and store the various standard reagents you gather from creatures in Midnight. Sharpen your knife mechanic looks to make a return, guaranteeing hides from skinning, increase your skill while skinning, and increase your general gathering speed while skinning, also known as finesse. No, deafness, sorry. Improve your capabilities at gathering general materials from creatures, gaining 1 skill while skinning in the Midnight region per point in this spec. You learn the sharpen your knife, a long cooldown ability. Doing so will guarantee a hide from the next Midnight creature that you skin. And then you can either spec into lasting leather or superb scales, presumably just getting better at either or. Nothing interesting on this tree. Sub-spec, skill, a second charge of sharpen the knife. A third charge of sharpen the knife. We spec into leather. Bonus skill when killing leathery creatures. And then finally perception at the end. I'm going to assume this tree is the same, but just a scale. Yep. So that's a very generic, just get better at actually skinning tree. Gainful gathering tree. Gather meat for cooking from skinned creatures. Gather additional rare reagents from skinned creatures. Create the diffusers that cause creatures to drop additional magical materials when skinned. And increase your deafness, finesse, and perception while skinning. We start with gainful gathering. Increasing your deafness per point spent. Now you will also have a small chance to find the species-specific reagents when skinning the creatures in Midnight Regions. Deafness, sub-spec, bit more deafness. A chance to gather some meat for cooking while skinning as well. Bit more deafness, the final tree, bit more deafness. And then the radiant stomachs, which usually just a few grey items here and there. Not gonna lie, I love fighting the 2x4 bee skinning farming groups in PvP war mode whilst wearing a bee transmog and using bee pets and a bee mount on my hunter, keeping the forest secure. Oh god. We've got Mowgli over here protecting the jungle.
Sweet profit together.
Good effort, man. Do the 2x4 farms really use war mode layers? They probably do. Geordie Guardian, thank you very much for the sub. Appreciate. Welcome in. You're having a good weekend. So once we've specced into gathering a little bit better, we can go into careful carving. Learn the skills and techniques needed to carve meat, gaining finesse while skinning in the Midnight region. Learn to carve meat, a long cooldown ability that will guarantee some meat from the next creature you skin. Similar in vein to the, what was it over here? Similar in vein to the sharpen the knife ability. Maximum amount, stuttering apparently, the maximum amount of meat you can receive whilst carved meat is increased. Increased even further. Increased even further than that. And then the minimum amount of meat that you receive is lifted. Trophy Taker. Owning your senses, gaining perception while skinning in the Midnight region. Your chances of gathering the species-specific reagents from creatures in the Midnight region become increased. Maximum amount of species-specific reagents you receive is increased. A bit more perception all the way around, and then the minimum floor is lifted as well. And then we get the dedicated diffuser as the third option in here. Improving your dexterity, gaining +1 deafness while skinning in the Midnight region. So we've got deafness in one node, finesse in another, perception in a third, whilst all focusing on their own slight subtle bonus. So this ends up being mostly your secondary stat tree. You also learn the dedicated diffusers from this node. Learn to fashion a light bloom diffuser. Looks like you very quickly learn the other diffusers from this tree as well. The amount of reagents yielded from the diffusers increases. A wild diffuser, primal diffuser, void diffuser, and then eventually the minimum attained is also lifted. So it feels like skinning is going to have the hardest time acquiring void motes the easiest time acquiring light bloom motes. One thing I'm going to need to do is track just how many motes seem to be used and consumed in other places. Like I said, this is a material balancing thing that's hard to really fashion a good answer for until we're probably deep into the beta, never mind an alpha. Okay. This feels very much like utility / secondary stats tree. Whereas through tanning is very heavy skill focused, just getting better, giving yourself... This is what you spec into if you want the higher quality skin more frequently. Is likely where the money's at early days. Gain from gathering is where you spec into probably secondary to buff your secondary stats. And then talented tracker. Own in your anatomical knowledge of the renowned beasts, gaining +1 skill when skinning them per point in this spec. Learn how to create a majestic Eversong lure. I don't think anybody really cares too much about the fishing lures. Majestic Zulaman lure. Arendire lure. Voidstorm lure. And then the majestic Grand lure. What even is that then? Luring the Grand Beast. A bait made to lure the fiercest of majestic beasts out of hiding. Probably the majestic Grand lure is kind of your equivalent of the superb beast fang kind of thing. Are the spectres looking more even across the professions this time, or do some still need a lot more points than others, like in the War Within? I've not looked at the big ones yet. Blacksmithing is always a hog. I've not looked at that. But blacksmithing is always a hog, presumably because it has a weapons tree and an armor tree, but I've not looked yet. I would assume that they're similar until proven otherwise. What do you think would be a better class for skinning? Potentially pairing it with tailoring for cloth drops, hunter or demon hunter, or any other class that's not a druid. The best class is the one you enjoy playing the most and is going to be the geared the strongest. Skinning is all about time to kill. The more gear you have, the faster you kill things. The more time you can actually spend skinning. Even your 2x4 skinning druids tend to get themselves geared up as much as they can so that they can just kill things faster and faster and faster. So... arguably, probably still a druid, to be honest, but anything that... demon hunters work well because they've got crazy burst if somebody's, you know... I don't think there's really a best. I miss barrage on a hunter was great for skinning. It probably was, yeah. When it comes to pairing it with tailoring for cloth drops, you got to remember that cloth drops off humanoids. This is a common misconception. You're not getting the same thing from the same mob. Cloth comes from humanoids. Skin comes from beasts for the most part. If you're killing animals, you're not killing the humanoids. There's often not the same, you know. Race counts. Doesn't the Worgen have some bonus with skinning? Yes. Does it still have the skin? It's just slightly increased skinning speed, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's probably a good point. I'd probably say Worgen counts almost more than the spec, really. Yeah, the race probably counts more than the spec in that regard. Whatever a Worgen can be these days. Majestic materials we can spec in after we've got good at doing the summoning the special creatures in the first place. Empower your senses when dealing with the renowned beast, gaining extra perception when skinning them. You have a chance to find majestic materials that are unique to renowned beasts when skinning them. More perception, more perception, more perception. You have the chance to receive double the majestic materials. More perception, more perception, more perception. Your chance to gather majestic materials is increased. So these majestic materials, if we look in leatherworking, for example, there's a few examples of this already. There's majestic hide. We have majestic claw. And majestic fin are 3 options already. Interestingly, these majestic superb beast hide style mats also appear to be thrown into player housing. Canopy bed. I shit you not, by the way. Player housing might be cheap to get into. It's going to be expensive if you want to do it properly, though, because all this crafted stuff is not going to be free, and it's not going to be cheap. The fact that your bed for your bedroom in your player housing could set you back 15,000 gold easily. When you consider every single item in your player housing is going to have a cost assigned to it. Now, of course, not all of it is crafted, right? A lot of the stuff you will use is generic gathered stuff. But then when you might kill a boss and you might get something to drop off that boss. But if you want 2 or 3 of those things, you might need to buy the second and third one with gold, which will come with a cost. Epic housing is going to be expensive for your average player if they really want to build a fancy-ass house. Not to mention the cost implications of changing the colours of things, dyes and whatever. Blizzard are probably going to give people a real cheap and easy way to get their house and to get going. But people that really want to specialise in it are going to be spending hundreds of thousands of gold. You could be spending 100k on just a single room's worth of decorations quite comfortably. More people buying WoW tokens, happy Blizzard. Yeah, without a doubt. I can already see players, their player housing costing them 1 million gold plus. I expect the gold billionaires will have extremely dripped out cribs. What else are you going to spend the gold on? Now's your time to shine. Yeah. Now, some of us in here will go, oh, 1 million gold. Yeah, cool, no problem. But let's not also forget we're the kind of players mostly who spend an awful lot of time focusing on making a bunch of gold. To the player out there that barely covers their repair fees and struggles to buy consumables and frequently buys a token here and there to buy their consumables, your player, your one character, to enchant and gem them, let's say it costs 50k to fully enchant and gear like enchant, gem, socket a character's, let's say 50k, you'll spend double that on a single room in your player housing. Meaning those that do want to get really involved in player housing, which is the significant... It's a gross way of describing it, but it's the far more casual player, right? Who will get heavily invested in player housing. These people are going to have an expensive time, I think, already. My house will be a 4x4, then it'll be cheap. Hobo shack? Yeah. Interested in testing the guild neighborhoods. I really don't get the logistics of how it works. I'm probably going to look at player housing in a bit more detail either tomorrow or Tuesday. I haven't decided what the plan of action is for Monday and Tuesday, simply because I need to decide if there's anything I need to do prior to Remix launching on Wednesday. Because once Remix turns up, we're going big on Remix for a few days at the very least. They won't do it. The casual players will go, this shit's expensive, never mind then. But it's the drip feed. This is the thing, right? It's you know, it's only 3,000 gold for a lamp. You know, 3,000 gold for a lamp. 2,000 gold for a picture on the wall. 4,000 gold for a rug on the floor. It's the same psychological thing as microtransactions. Oh, it's just $2 here. It's just $3 there. And then all of a sudden you realise that shit, you've burnt through 300,000 gold in an afternoon just tinkering with a bedroom in your player housing. And shit, you need to buy another token. That's $20. Gonna have a massive house like the biggest shit you've ever seen, then just have a mattress in front of a painting. Yeah, we want flipping golden toilet seats and all sorts of crazy stuff. But yeah, reining it all back in, you know, if you've got your superb beast fang style skinning, rare skinning things going into housing items, that's a absolutely huge output for these materials all of a sudden. The problem we had with things like the Superb Beast Fang was that they tended only ever to be used in like high-end crafted gear, meaning a player might only ever need one of them, ever. And so the actual demand for them was matching the kind of low supply of them. And in fact, even then, the supply was massively over-saturating. Going into the War Within, let's not forget, there was a lot of focus on, like, should I have, like, a bunch of skinners? Superb Beast Fan made me millions. The market was crazy at the beginning. Just think how crazy it's going to be when it's also part of the decor system as well. So there's a strong chance that even if your character, you know, a top-end piece of crafted gear is a once-a-season kind of, a once, twice, maybe 3 times a season purchase. But your player housing, everybody's going to be buying, and everybody might be buying multiple of as well. Does Wowhead, for example, can we do, what was it called? Can we get this flipping website in dark mode, like double time? I swear this website has a dark mode. What was it called? Majestic Hide. Well, let's just search Majestic real quick. Majestic, items, filter. Is there like added in? Added in. Okay, so we got the claws, the fins, the hides. Appear to be the 3. A reagent 4. Majestic Claw is currently a reagent in. Profession equipment, profession equipment, profession equipment. Lots of profession equipment, single uses each and every time. Used in a weapon enchant by the looks of things. So a consumable, something to churn through lots of them is good. Adds value when there's lots of them needed. Because obviously profession gear is great, but it's a one-time purchase. More enchants, player housing, player housing, player housing. Low level wand by the, or a wand of some sort. So we've got 2 uses for it in player housing here. Chairs, right? Chairs, people aren't going to buy 1 chair. House decor, people won't be buying 1 chair. People will be buying, you know, 6 chairs to go around a table. Wall shelf. Another one where you're likely to not have just 1 wall shelf. You'll put up multiple of them. Uses a hide and a claw. Majestic fin. Hang on, let's open that a new tab. Majestic fin used in profession gear. Enchants. I tell you what, the fact that they've slapped these on enchants is interesting. That gives a real consumable multi-time use thing. Used in a bed. Enchants again. Majestic hide being used in lots of decor stuff. And I'd point out that it being used in decor actually also makes it relatively evergreen. Since Superb Beast Fangs, or whatever they're called, right now, for example, soon as we are no longer in with the War Within, they're going to be completely useless to everybody. This is what housing does, that housing is going to make so much more of the professions, like, almost evergreen. There will always be people coming back to the game or joining the game afresh that will look at getting this stuff. This is one of the most exciting things for me about housing, is just what it's going to do to revamp professions overall. Because we've always had this thing with professions where it's, you know, it's absolute fire for 18 months, 2 years, whilst the expansion is live, and then it all just dies a complete and utter death. Very, very rarely does much carry forward outside of maybe a crafted mount or something. But anything that goes anywhere near decor is very, very, very evergreen now. And I think it's probably more evergreen than transmog, even. Concentration still a thing. Yep. Concentration is still a thing. Casuals will look at crafted items and go, I guess I'll use the bookshelf I can get from an old raid instead of paying 12k for a crafted one. Maybe. Maybe they will pick the thing that... Maybe they will pick the thing that they have easier access to, but... There will also be people that will want everything on the list. There'll be people that will buy one of everything just by default, I think. But the overall of this was that the Majestic skinning system, whilst may not have been overly profitable or valuable for skinners that much in the War Within, might see some revitalization with it being used in decor stuff. At least early on. The rest of this tree. So you can spec into the majestic materials here. You have a chance to find majestic materials that are unique to renowned beasts when skinning them. Stack up some perception. Chance to double up. More perception. And then more. Your alternative is component collector. Learn to make every bit of material count, gaining finesse when skinning renowned beasts per point. The maximum amount of basic leather or scale you can gather from renowned beasts becomes increased. More finesse, more finesse, more finesse. Maximum amount increased. Minimum amount of scale or leather from renowned beasts is also increased. Okay, ignore this node. It's all about this direction. 40 points in there, 40 points. Well, how many points do you need in here? Oh, you were going to probably want 40 points in here, aren't you, to make the grand lure. 40 points in here, 40 points in there. It's a marketing issue, IKEA or a bespoke item. A little bit, yeah. Yeah, a little bit. Okay. Well, skinning then has my 30-second TLDR on skinning then is that this new high-value target system I like. Giving the solo skinner a leg up compared to the 2x4 skinner. The 2x4 skinner will still probably see better results due to just pure quantity. But at least it means that players can fly around, do their world quests, have skinning, pocket skinner on a on a character that has a spare profession slot that's not doing much, for example. Antique nobleman signet ring. I couldn't pick this up yesterday either. This was broken. Is this still broken? Can I pick it up on this dude? No. Is there an option to change the camera movement, like in action combat camera, so that I don't have to hold the right mouse button to rotate the camera? Yeah, there's camera options. They're in retail right now. Camera following style. I have it set to never adjust it because it annoys the living Christ out of me when the camera gets moved. Yeah, you can play around with those settings. They're in the game right now. See if we can find one of these high value targets. Typical, now I'm looking for them, you can't find them, but did I decide that these things aren't skinnable? I think I did, didn't I? Even though they're like slimy slimies. Here we go. Here's a high value target. Look, little trap icon on the map. Bring poor links. You can quickly fly past, kill this one dude. Boom, skin him up. What do we get there? 5 pieces of leather from that mob. Compared to just like 1 or 2 from a regular mob.
I need a target.
Yeah, a single leather compared to 5 leather from a high value target means that you might not feel the need to skin everything in existence. As a skinner, you often feel that flying past a beast feels weird and awkward because you know you could be killing it. Now, if you can probably choose just to focus on the high value targets and still, you know, get a reasonable amount of leather for your effort. I'm quite sure that the gold per hour kind of metrics won't look great all the same. You'll still get outdone by 2x4 farming, but you know, it's better. We will take a win when it's given to us. What I do need to do though is figure out how to get more scales, because this is problematic for me testing leather working properly. Can't get any flipping scales. About you, snapdragons. Surely you're skinnable and you give scale, surely. Superb could only be skinned once a day. With more use for the material, I can see them lowering the cooldown on it. Yeah, I mean, a lot does revolve around balancing, but at least, you know, the thought process is there. There is now a multitude of different majestic items rather than just one beast fang thing. Ah, these give leather as well. Sons of bitches. Rare. I'm not really equipped for killing rares. I'm super low geared. These pre-made characters we get start at item level 80. By the time you finish doing some basic questing in the zone, you should be item level 120, which is actually a monstrous difference. And a item level 700-ish character is the equivalent of item level 150. So these pre-made characters are a real weak source. Not ideal for skinning. Definitely do with some better gear, but... For first overview, it'll do.
I need a target.
Okay, dead loot table. Oh, worse than dead loot table. It has something, but it won't let me pick it up, which means I then can't skin it. Flipping owls. Oh well. Can the pet fetch it? My pets don't have fetch. Annoyingly. Bats? What do bats and spiders give me?
I need to get closer.
How's the zones looking like? Well, we've only got Eversong Woods this week. But it's hard, like, it's done really well. It's hard to... It's easy to forget that this is a revamp of an old zone. It looks really good. Okay, neither of these dudes are lootable or skinnable. Great. So, no more spiders for me. Quick question about edit mode settings. I wonder if they allow you to turn off talking heads. No idea. I wouldn't know about that in retail, never mind. Talking head options. Advanced options. There's no... No. You can move it, you can't turn it off. How much is the item level on gear? Dropped down. The squish is quite dramatic. Like I said, I'm running around at level 80 with item level 80 gear. A 700 item level character is the equivalent of about 150 item level, I think. Give or take. Pretty sure there are add-ons that can remove talking heads. Oh yeah, add-ons can probably do it. It's not native in the settings though. Okay, still struggling to find anything that gives me skin. Let me get to some relative safety. I'm going to take a break for a couple of minutes. Quick bathroom break, stretch the legs, grab a drink, and then we'll explore a little bit further. Still haven't found anywhere reliable for scale, which is frustrating because I need a bunch of it. Maybe these sorts of things. Right, give me 2 minutes, boys and girls. I'll be back in a couple. Chat would be proud the TV's on. Yeah, I made an effort today. Back in 2. Alrighty. Right. Oh, puppy cam's not all that interesting, is it, at this very second? Find you a puppy. There's a puppy. Been pretty chill today. Although, there's only 2 dogs in here today instead of the normal 3. Okie dokie. Do I feel as if I need to do too much more skinning to get an overview done for it? I don't think I do. Finding somewhere that is reliable for scale, though, is still a high priority for me. I would kind of quite like to find high-value scale targets. As I've found plenty of options for the leather, but not the scale so far. This is one of those where only having access to one zone might be quite a hindrance at the moment, but let me just double check what the journal says on this. Skinners can rarely acquire... Yeah, I've not found any hide or plating yet either, actually, have I? Oh, need 90 to start finding it the higher qualities. I've not found any at all so far. Still fits halfway under the couch. She can just about get under the couch, yeah. She can crawl under there, but she doesn't just zoom and run straight in there anymore. Maybe I'm missing something, how a high value target's marked visually. You get a little trap icon on the minimap. And the high value targets give like 5 times the amount of leather. So it's kind of simulating an equivalent to like herbing and mining, really. If you're flying past and you spot a high value target, you can swoop down, kill one mob, skin it, and be on your way. But of course, your 2x4 farmer that's killing 1,000 beasts and skinning 1,000 things an hour is still going to outperform you, but it brings more value to profession just kind of passively. But it does kind of also depend on their rarity. As you can see, I'm flying around as probably the only person on the alpha right now. And they're proving to be a bit difficult to find even. These drop scale. I know these dudes drop scale. Let's kill a few more of these. Yeah, because of the fact that 2x4 skinning is a thing, it kind of leaves that sort of lingering feeling that anything other than 2x4 skinning is just wasting your time. Because you'd be better off trying to get into a 2x4 group.
I'm out of range.
A shark? Kill sharks. I killed a shark and got storm charge leather. Okay. Where's a shark? F6. Yeah, Shark's been travelling. Shark has been travelling. I'm assuming that this information isn't really going to be accessible yet in any way, shape or form, but what if I try at the very least? Does Wowhead have skinned from data in any way, shape or form? I can't imagine it does. What am I looking for? The Lassian scales. The Lassie... I don't know. We need to spell this right, otherwise search isn't going to work. What was it called? The Lassian... Double S. The Lassian scales. Reagent 4, a lot of stuff, yes. Aware of that. I was hoping there'd be placed in a bunch of stuff, sure. Also see quality 2. Yeah, I wasn't assuming there'd be skinned from information on anything yet. 150 viewers, sheesh, we're back. Are we? Oh my god, we are. It's alpha season, baby. Welcome in, Mr. Norton. Good morning, good morning. Coral Fang. Random herb in the middle of the sea. You're not even marked on the map as a rare. Does that mean you're a skinning specific rare, or are you just not tagged correctly? We've been doing a little bit of skinning this morning. A, to get some idea of how skinning has changed in any way, and B, to give me access to some leather for further testing of other professions. Much like we were doing herbing and mining yesterday to get some mats, bit of skinning today. Tried to wombo combo it with cooking and fishing, but I haven't found a fishing trainer even, so we haven't got very far with that. And to be honest, I don't think the best use of my time on Alpha is standing fishing just right now, but... which profession is best for decor? I mean, I don't know. It's not out yet. Every profession makes decor though. Every profession makes decor, and things like inscription are looking pretty strong. They have slightly more options. They have slightly more options as of right now. I received a whole lot of nothing. Placeholder junk. Why we don't bother killing rares. You make a video on mining and herbalism. Oh, I'm going to be doing videos on everything. It's just I want to make sure that I've got enough of an overview and an understanding of them before we do videos. Alchemy and engineering were quite easy to do because I had easy access to all the spec trees and everything, so I was able to get those out quite quickly. Some of the other professions, to showcase them properly though, I need a little bit of extra work to be done. But in good time, the TLDR for herbing and mining is nothing's really changed. It won't be the shortest of videos, I don't think, herbalism and mining, because if I go through the spec trees and wombo combo both professions as one. Wait, hang on, I'm dying now. What's going on? But yeah, in time. Actually, if we can get skinning leveled up to 100, or at least past 90, maybe try and get some of the, maybe try and get the quality 2 materials. Been very hard to get quality 2 anything with herbing and mining, because you need 120 skill before you even start seeing them. It might be a little bit easier with skinning. Still not sure what I think about only 2 qualities when it comes to mats. Removing gold, but keeping bronze and silver feels a bit confusing when it comes to game design. There is going to be a bit of a culture shock for some people when they are like, where's all the quality 3 stuff? But that'll only last 5 minutes. The reality is my expectation is that from a crafting perspective, they'll have just bumped everything, right? So quality, what was quality 2 is now quality 1, and what was quality 3 is now quality 2. They'll have just bumped everything. I reckon the mechanics behind the scenes probably work exactly the same. Meaning quality 1, or e.g. normal stuff, gives you a 25% skill boost when used. And quality 2 will probably give a 40%. I imagine they won't have changed anything. But I need some quality 2 mats to see what happens.
Hey, that's too far away.
2 qualities make me wonder why they just didn't remove it entirely. Well, 2 qualities is very different to just 1. I know that sounds like a really dumb statement, but if you just have 1 quality, 1 quality means that it's 1 single price for everything. It's just where do you add any value in that? Where's the added value in leveling your professions? 2 qualities means that you can have, you know, normal stuff and high quality stuff. There's a significant difference there. 3 qualities has just been for the last couple expansions that, well, once you reach a certain point, you then no longer care about quality 1, and it's all about quality 2 and quality 3 anyway. This is kind of why I think that going down to 2 qualities isn't going to really change how professions feel. Because we've realistically only dealt with 2 qualities anyway. Quality 2 and quality 3. The name of them is irrespective. You know, for the most part, nobody was thinking about 3 different qualities. There was some occasions where you would care about using quality 1 materials, and you'd use quality 1 because the thing you were crafting. Hot-headed lynx. That's a quest mob. The thing you were crafting would then not have quality, so it made sense to use the cheaper mats, which then became quality 1, but they were kind of like outside, you know, sort of exceptions to the rule. For the most part, we only cared about 2 qualities anyway, so for the vast majority, it's not going to really feel any different, I don't think. It just means that you can have an absolutely fresh off the boat, in like, you know, leveled 5 minutes ago profession, and you can start making whatever you want. Right, we've hit skill 50 with skinning. I guess I'd feel differently about the change if they gave quality 1 and 2 mats new symbols. Yeah. I kind of agree that having
Get something first.
the same symbols does just leave you to think that they've basically got rid of quality. Because that's the impression people will get. They'll be like, oh, they've got rid of quality 3. When it's not really, it's just quality 2 is now the same as what quality 3 was, and quality 1 is what actually doesn't exist. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Or it could just be from an actual game system. What they've actually done is they've cut out quality 2. That could more likely be what they've actually done. There's lots of these putty cat things to kill. We'll use these as a way to kill these relatively quickly. Oh, the juvenile ones don't skin. Oh, flipping hell, I forgot that. Hi, my name is Mantheus. Welcome to another video. So about herbing and mining, nothing's changed. Thank you. please like and subscribe. Herbing and mining video could either be 30 seconds or 30 minutes. As the TLDR is, for the most part, there is basically nothing different other than there's some new shiny items to pick up. Or I could actually give people the detail that they maybe probably want all the same. And chat for half an hour on it, I haven't decided.
Something first.
I can't remember why, but I think it was in The War Within. I did a first overview in The War Within. I remember it for herbing and mining, and I can't remember why, but I remember a lot of people got really pissy about the video, and I can't remember what they were getting pissy about. I should probably go back and check what it was that people got pissy about, so I don't do the same thing again. You're an old salesman, you can easily do a 30-minute video on each of the things that hasn't changed. Wow.
I need a target.
Even though it's not really... Like, herbing and mining feels like an amalgamation. Oh. I didn't gain anything from skinning that dude. Okay. That was weird. I could skin him but got no nothing. Let's try that again. No, it wasn't a mana thirster, was it? What was it I killed there? Arcane mana thirster. It was a mana thirster. Surely not these things. An arcane one.
I'm out of range.
Try that again. New nodes are massive. They're huge. I don't know why. Like, you can't miss them. Yeah. Okay. I'm gaining skinning skill, but not gaining any... I'm not strictly here for the fun of it, so I need something that does actually give me some materials. Mobs with no skin, yeah. Well, they're mana worms. I guess that's actually sort of thematic, isn't it? That they're just... They don't actually have any leather or... But it also then questions why they skinnable. Okay, there's nothing around here. Okay, there's things to kill, but there's nothing super duper mega fancy. Should be able to skin them for primal mana. It's true. Stick a straw in it, suck out its mana.
I need a target.
That thing gives me scale. No, don't phase away. Come back here, you.
Hey, that's too far away.
Come here, you pigeon. Yeah, this is the problem though. The entire time I've spent doing some skinning, I've got a whole bunch of leather. I've only actually found 5 scales. This might be that I can't really do too much with leatherworking until we get access to another zone. Need to go find some mobs that are a bit more scaly. Because these things are far too scarce. Bonus mobs. We want bonus mobs. Crabs and reptiles, maybe. Yeah, it's just a case of finding them.
I need to target something first.
Now, under normal circumstances, people jump on Wowhead and just Google it, but when you're the first one here, you have to find it yourself. I'm now awkwardly in the position where I'm the one that's meant to be filling out the Wowhead info. Yeah, there needs to just be a flipping crab farm somewhere or something, doesn't there? There'll be an area somewhere. I'm just not overly familiar. Like, it's weird. It's a revamp of a zone, but I still don't feel as if I know the zone. It's been re-architected so nicely that it's easy to forget that this is actually just a redo of an old zone. Oh, there's a trap on the floor there. That means there's a high value something or other. High value encroaching links. You're not normally skinnable, I'd have thought.
I need to target something first. I need a target.
Friend isn't skinnable. Wonder if they copied the Burning Crusade mob drops. Don't know. Yeah, maybe I should look at the original area. What about these wiggling mana wormy things? These don't have enough health.
I don't have a time.
No. Hawk Striders. You're not likely to have flipping. How much skills needed for rank 2 mats? Well, it looks like 90. At least that's the what the journal says right now. Okay, these are skinnable. Damn, flipping leather again. I'm skill 65 right now. Journal states 90. Primary difficulty is 90. Six, 67, 68, 69, giggity, 70. I'm kind of quite glad that these are giving guarantee skill points all the way though.
I need to get close.
Get off my ass. I need to spec into misdirection. I'm gonna die. Oh, we're dying on me. Okay, survived. No profession tools to bump skill up also doesn't help. Yeah, I know this could not be further from an ideal testing area, to be honest, but we can only do what we can do right now. If I can get a couple of characters that and a couple of farming spots that I know that I can reliably go and get stuff from, we can chip away and like. I hope this is only. I hope they put the cheap vendors on the alpha next week. If they put the cheap vendors on the alpha next week, we're absolutely golden. But until then, I'm gonna have to kind of hack my way to results. We'll have to do it the hard way. Is tree chopping tied to any profession? No. No. Anybody can whack away at lumber. I've not gone and explored much lumber housing stuff yet. That's kind of a task for tomorrow, maybe. What about your friends here? Can we kill you as well? I assume we can't.
I need to target something.
Oh,
first.
none of that lot's skinnable. Oh, Jesus. Okay. About crabs. Crabs usually have a scale, do they not? Crabs got to be scaly. I ain't never seen a leather crab, but let's put it that way. Oh, not even skinnable. Flipping out. Crabs, you be useless to me. Sharks. Been here before, haven't we? Anybody can whack away at lumber, but you have to be a specialist to pick up a flower. Yeah. It was only a pipe dream. It's been a pipe dream of mine for years that they just... Oh! Our first leather at quality 2. Well, we actually got that at 76. So the 90 in the journal doesn't also seem to... Maybe it's it's a floating... Maybe there's a floating luck modifier. Quick sell it on the auction house. Probably world first. Can't imagine anybody else is going to have gone out of their way to level skinning on the alpha. We can kill the main ones. I want to ignore the juvenile ones. Right, ignoring the juvenile ones. CPS knocking on the door. Yeah, sometimes I wonder if there's somebody listening outside, what they would think of the conversations we have. Oh, hello.
I need a target.
Loads of pigeons. Shit, I'm dead. Shit, I'm actually dead. Oh my god, that was closer than it needed to be. That big guy looks scaly. Yeah, we've killed him. We've killed him before. He's tagged us a rare. He didn't drop anything. Oh, high value target behind us though. Springport Lynx. So the high value ones have a glow to them and are usually worth about, well, substantially more leather. Oh god, pet's dead. Still trying to figure out a legitimate way to feed the kids only once every 3 days to stop them growing so much. They will do that. They will grow, and they will grow fast. High value target, 10 leather. 10x proc on that high value target. Right, skill 91. Ooh, more quality too. The fact that I need 20 to craft even one item though. Scale woven hide takes a Thalassian hide and a Thalassian plating. Oh my god. Not found either of these yet either. Actually, I've just thought what we should have been doing is unlocking the trees. Improve your capabilities at gathering general materials from creatures. Gathering 1 skill. We get... What did we get? We got the sharpen the knife ability. Where did it go? There's the sharpen our knife ability. Sharpening process will guarantee you receive a hide or a scale from your next midnight skinning attempt. The whole process is physically taxing and cannot be undertaken often. It's a 1-hour cooldown. What if we do this on a high value target? What if we use our skinning knife on a high value target? That's what we should probably try. Yo, Mr. Goldson, welcome in, my man. I'm, not intentionally, but I'm accidentally stepping on your toes today. Fun fact, boys and girls, anybody that's watching right now, shout out Goldson, by the way. Stumbled across Goldson about this time in the War Within, where he was doing some skinning guides. We're trying to level skinning on the alpha right now. We're skill 94, we're almost there. To hopefully get some leather so we can play around with some other professions. But I mean the crabs a long time ago. Yep. I'm trying to find an equivalent crab location for some scale on the alpha now. What did you get up to though? You been playing the alpha much? I saw you got invited in, which was very nice to see. More the merrier. Did you win the RNG lottery, or was it a know somebody situation? You won the RNG lottery. Nice one, dude. Congrats. I just set up Dawn Gathering, was in search of some nodes. Yeah, I did a little bit of testing on herbing and mining yesterday. My conclusion is that it doesn't particularly feel all that different. If you've done gathering, herbalism and mining in either Dragonflight or the War Within, you'll know what's going on. The nodes are massive though. Did you notice the mining nodes are absolutely wham? I don't know why they're so big.
Hey, that's too far away.
Absolutely can't miss them. Right, is this going to be world first level 100 skinning now? Oh no, I need one more mob. This is going to put us on 99. Shit, I let my pet die. Whoops. I like massive nodes. Yeah, I bet you do. Big milky nodes, right? 98, 99. Oh, that's a juvenile, you don't count. Made a map for alpha testers, might be helpful. Made a map? Map of what? You... Oh, I see of where the trainers are. Have you found the fishing vendor yet? I was looking for a fishing vendor earlier, couldn't find it. Boom. Skinning at midnight. World first, level 100 skinner. Okie dokie. 98 Thalassian leather to only 2 higher quality leather. And only 7 scales, frustratingly so. But we should use our sharpen our knife on a high value target. Unless I use it on this dude. No, I'm going to use it on a high value target. To see if it also wombo combos more scale. Which would be very funny.
I need to target something first.
I think the fishing vendor was southeast. Down here somewhere. Is housing out in the alpha? It is, yeah. Yeah, I've not been I've not looked at housing yet. I've been far too engrossed in all things profession, but are we saying down this little area there's a fishing vendor maybe? We'll go and explore there in a minute. In fact, if we head there, what are you? Rampaging entity. I've got to kill you. Rampaging ent. You look like you drop motes of light. You very much look like you would drop motes of light. Yeah, watercourse hard to say for sure. Preach didn't have his map open. Oh, okay. You Preach found the fishing vendor. Okay. I'm going to keep killing crabs at different locations to see if I can find any that are skinnable.
I need to target something first.
No Moxie in the game yet. Oh, have you learned some knowledge point stuff? I found some. I found a skinning knowledge point. I haven't used it yet, actually. I was saving it for the when I do an inevitable video, so I can show people it. Humanoid beast. Hang on, we'll go back to these. Chat was helping. I bet they were, yeah. Let's head in that sort of direction-ish then. Find me a high-value target. Want to use me skinning knife on it. How does this skinning knife... What's that treasure? Paint pot? Paint pot and a Thalassian skinning knife. Burbling paint pot. Blob of paint. Rinse this the next time you go for a swim to reveal what wriggles in the paint blob. Warning, you may get wet as well. What the fudge muck duck is that? Rinse this next time you go for a swim to reveal what wriggles in the paint blob. Spell is not available to you. Okay. Sure. This looks a lot like a fishing trainer, though. Yeah, you were nearly right. It's directly south of the zone. Whoops. Directly south of the zone, fishing trainer. Here we go. Train me in the way of the fishing.
The reckoning is at hand.
Okay. There was another treasure knocking around here. What was this? Some skinning knife. Yoink. Thalassian skinning knife. So the hide is our weekly points. This is a one-time treasure. No idea what the fucking hell this thing is.
Do not loiter. Everything has a price.
You sell stuff? Ooh, what's this? Eversong Fizz, Solarian, Sintalia, Dunbast, Sabiche.
Remember the sun well.
Okay. Have a little look at fishing then. Fishing journal. Becoming an angler is easy. We got 300 skill points again. Sounds familiar. Cast your line and reel in the many secrets Quel'Thalas has to offer. Caught fish will appear here in your trusty fishing journal. The records here will detail these fanciful fish and give an indication on where you may find them again. We have unlearned info. Rootlands, Voidstorm, Zulaman. Recommended skill 225. 1 to 225. Voidstorm recommends 300. Zulaman recommends skill 100. Bioluminescent ecosystem of intertwined roots and light bloom, shimmering waters mixed with decay and other plant life to create a uniquely dynamic set of inhabitants. Back to ZA for a third, or is it the fourth time? We lose count. We lose count. Crafting, Lucky Lower Lure. Prepare 5 fish to create a lure for catching Lucky Lower. This will destroy the fish in the process. The amount of lures created is determined by your fishing skill, the rarity of the fish. Requires 30 Sindori Swarmers. Powerful totem that prevents the spirit of blood hunters from taking revenge on anglers who reel it in. Wards you from blood hunters from attacking. Prepare 5 fish and 5 gore guppies to create a lure for catching blood hunters. This will destroy the fish in the process. The amount of lures created is determined by your fishing skill and the rarity of the fish. We got our common fish, our uncommon fish, and our rare fish. What's chum? Throw the fish back into the water to gain a bunch of fishing skill for 30 seconds. Throwing in multiple fish can extend the buff. But that appears to be... Oh no, there is some differences on these. Root crab gives you perception for 30 seconds. I didn't do a huge amount of fishing in... it's WoW that's barking, not my dog, yeah. Small dog, maybe it's skinnable, sorry. I really like the 30-second... I really dislike the 30-second buffs. It's like one cast. Yeah, it seems... I wondered, like... Surely you just sell the fish, right? Why would you throw it back for a 30-second buff? I guess the perception buff is for when you go... You save it and you throw it back in when you find like a blood shark pool or whatever the fuck it was. To jack up your stats for that one cast. Feels a lot like mulching from herbalism. Alright, what's the rare fish? Eversong trout. Right. Let the fishing commence. I give it 4.5 minutes before I get bored and pack it in. The hell? Ranthius earned the achievement, the old gnome in the sea. Successfully fished from a school. Oh, okay. This entire lake act as a school then? Because it's not looking like it's a school. Start timer. Destroying resources to get a buff. I'm glad they saw how widely popular mulching was and ran with it. Interestingly, this time round, mulching does have the ability to guarantee you high quality materials on your next node, which if you can wombo combo stack that with like a, you know, a what word do they use? The lush node. If you can use your mulching on a lush node and get guaranteed quality 2 times lots, there is a possibility that that becomes actually worth doing. The problem is as it stands, it uses 20 of the basic herb to make one of those epic mulch items. Which, even if the basic herb is like 10 gold, that means that one mulch has 200 gold value that you have to recuperate just to break even. This is the problem. But, without something like thaumaturgy to normalise the price of materials, may we actually see... One thing we did find that was quite weird is that bismuth And myco, is it called myco bloom? What's the basic herb in flipping hell? I've been out of the war within for 5 minutes. I can't remember the basic herb. It was kind of odd how the basic ore and the basic herbs actually ended up being some of the more valuable, just because they were used in so many things, and they could never get so cheap. Because when they got too cheap, they were spun off into something else. I don't mind if mulching's in a spot where it's not always the best thing to do. I just don't want it to be always the worst thing to do. Yeah, true. Right, we're 14 skill points in and I've not picked out a single fish yet. We're about ready to call fishing DOA. It's this shiny gold floating one that's stealing all the good fish. Are you fishing wrong? I'm holding the wrong end of the rod, yeah. Okay. Let's put the button on the bar and move on. At least we found the fishing vendor, though. That does mean that when we do start getting some fish, we can also tinker with what I'm looking for here, cooking. I wanted to find, didn't I, a high value skinning target to use our knifey knife on to see if it gives bonuses. He got the pool achievement on his first cast, even though it wasn't in a pool. Yeah. Let's not rule out the possibility that it is just broken, though. Hasn't the pool achievement always been broken? I don't know. Fishing lasted about as long as expected. I knew it wasn't going to be long. Oh, there's a high value target. Where'd you go? Right, round here, look.
Is that your wallet?
How do we use this flipping thing again? Use your expert knowledge of the outdoors to find suitable stone to sharpen your knife. The sharpening process will guarantee you receive a hide or a scale from your next midnight skinning attempt. So, let's kill this high value target. Divaz, thank you very much for the sub, appreciate it. Welcome in. I have no idea how to actually pronounce your name properly. I feel bad, but right, let's use our skinning knife on this one. Sharpen the knife. High value target. Okay, we still got our regular 8 increased quantity of leather, but we did get our Thalassian hide, our first and only so far. Whoa, okay. Placeholder, this is junk. This is all our fishing stuff, isn't it? Okay, it didn't also increase the amount of hides we get, which was the question I was really intrigued in. Divers or Dwers, up to you. Thanks. Thanks for covering professions struggling to find people that are. I mean, rarely does it get much love at all, which is how I've managed to carve out a little corner of the market for myself. Fish still selling for 12 gold plus, which I find insane since you literally only have to press 2 buttons on a sound cue, so bots should be very easy to make. Well, they often are, unfortunately. They often are, and they often do. That's why the price of fish tends to fluctuate an awful lot throughout an expansion. It crashes when bots are prominent, and then they all get banned, and then the price of fish goes back up again, and it kind of floats around a bit. High value target, what does that mean? It's a new little mechanic in skinning. Sort of presumably designed to help the solo skinners feel as if they're not so hardcore losing out to 2x4 skinning. You can spot a high value target on your map. There's a little trap icon, and that one mob will drop substantially more leather when killed and skinned. I also didn't unlock these. I should have done that, really, shouldn't I? What do we get? Small chance to find the species-specific reagents when skinning the creatures. I should have unlocked that literally as soon as possible. Whoops. And Majestic Eversong Lure. We can now craft. How do we craft one of those? We need wormfish and we need lynx fish. We need fish to be able to craft one of those. Then we need to know where to place the bait. A bait made to lure a majestic beast out of hiding within Eversong Wood. So it's hiding here somewhere. I know when there's been a ban wave solely based on fish prices. Also enjoy that free fish pun. Your whale come. Okay. Well, there's not too much more I can do with skinning other than learn points and put points into it. Not that I really have that many. I'm saving these for the skinning video to show that they exist. But I'd still only have 4 knowledge points even if I did. Because skinning something for the first time doesn't give you a skill point like it did previously. Although we've only skinned 1, 2, 3 different things, I suppose. Right. Okay. I think I am relatively content with where I am with skinning. I need to do a little bit of a write-up for skinning. Maybe put a small short video together. Luckily the skinning video is not going to contain all that much. Maybe a quick 2 minutes highlighting that these new elusive beast lure, the elusive beasting lure system, with it being utilized within player housing as well, and there now being 3 different varieties you can get, does potentially mean... Where's it gone? Yeah, majestic claws, fins and hides, which all play a part not only in the same way that they did last expansion, being used in high-end crafting gear, but also going into player housing, decor crafting stuff, will mean there's probably substantially more of a market for them going into midnight. So if it was part of skinning that you utilized in the War Within, it might be even more lucrative in midnight to go and spec in that direction. But it will require you to heavily spec in that direction, presumably at the cost of being good at skinning everything else short term, because you can't have everything straight away. Do you have mats to level leatherworking to 25 yet to see the talent trees? No, I need to find a reliable source of... I'm easily able to get the leather I need, but I need to find a reliable source of scales. I need to just spend some more time hunting and figuring stuff out. We will get to those soon. For now, though, boys and girls, I know it's not been a particularly long stream, but I'm not trying to do super duper mega long streams every day, but I am trying to stream every day. We'll be back tomorrow. We're going to spend a little bit of time this afternoon and this evening filling out the Discord with some info, putting another couple of videos together. I think this would be worthwhile, keeping the YouTube algorithm happy. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for stopping by. We will have a couple more days before Remix starts, where we heavily focus on the alpha. Once Remix does begin, I will have to balance things somehow. I don't know how. There's not enough hours in the day to balance, but we will try somehow. We will figure it out either way. Yeah, opportunity to shamelessly promote the Discord. If you're not there already, come say hi over on the Discord. I've made some dedicated sections for Midnight Alpha related stuff. You can ask your questions, and as and when I or anybody else has the answer, can come along and answer the questions. And then I'm starting to build some sections for each of the professions, and then some sort of things like housing and decor sort of stuff as well in here, with some resources and whatever. So come say hi if you're not there already. But enjoy the rest of your weekend. Rest up, have fun, enjoy, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Peace. Before you all run off, boys and girls, for those of you over on Twitch, I'm going to raid into Bear. Looks like Bear's live. She's probably doing some alpha stuff as well. She actually looks to be tinkering with housing, I assume, anyway. So I'll send you guys over there. Go say hi to Bear. Wish her well. Yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you next time. Peace.